so 2021 has concluded, and as always, we are going to be giving our top 5 best movies of the year. Actually, we are able to give a top 5 best and top 5 worst. Last year, we didn't have enough movies. We didn't see enough movies, so we only had a best and worst. So this is going to be the top 5 best movies of 2021. And just to name the movies we did see this year, I know you saw some movies I didn't, and I saw some movies you didn't. The movies include Godzilla vs. Kong, Quiet Place 2, Wrath of Man, Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, Black Widow, Old, Suicide Squad, Jungle Cruise, Candyman, Shang-Chi, Night House, Cop Shop, Malignant, Venom Let There Be Carnage, Halloween Kills, Antlers, Eternals, and Spider-Man that just came out. And you saw...
Cruella, and I also saw Peter Rabbit 2.
Okay.
With the kids I babysit.
We both have our lists. Do you have any honorable mentions before we get into our top 5?
I'd say for my honorable mentions, I have a movie I just mentioned. Cruella was a movie that I went into. I was like, I wanted to take the kids to see A Quiet Place. We had to settle on Cruella, and I actually walked in and I missed the very opening due to getting popcorn, and I thought it was a pretty solid movie. I was interested, it had me intrigued. Usually those live adaptions turn to be not the greatest, but in my opinion, I thought it was a fresh take on it, and it was a pretty solid movie, but it just barely misses my top 5 honorable mention. And then my last honorable mention for possible top 5 movie just didn't quite crack the top 5 for me was Malignant. It was a unique take on a horror film, and there were some very gory aspects to it that I did not see coming. And like I said, it was interesting enough, and there were some moves. The thing was, whatever the creature was doing backflips and stuff by the end. But it was definitely it's an honorable mention for me. Malignant was.
Some honorable mentions for me include A Quiet Place 2. Thought it was a really good sequel, but it didn't quite make this list. But it's really close. The Night House was an honorable mention I thought was good. Didn't answer enough questions. It's an honorable mention. Malignant is on there as well, and then Shang-Chi is an honorable mention. That was literally 6. 5 and 6 went back and forth. It was so close to being on here. Had some amazing scenes. Didn't quite make it, but do you want to go to your number 5?
So clocking in at number 5 for my top 5 best movies of 2021 is a very recent one we just did a review for, Spider-Man No Way Home. The fact that this is spoilers, obviously, but they brought back Tobey Maguire, which is what I was really wanting, and they did it justice and then some, and even got me invested in a character that I thought I didn't like in Andrew Garfield, and I might want to go back and watch his movies now. And it got me reinvested in the Spider-Man lore. So Spider-Man No Way Home, very solid MCU movie, might be the best MCU movie since Endgames came out, unless I'm forgetting one.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely more interested in the MCU, so Spider-Man No Way Home clocks in at number 5 on my top 5 list.
Yeah, number 5 for me was Spider-Man as well, Spider-Man No Way Home. This was an amazing movie. I had some problems with it, but seeing the Spider-Mans come together is just unbelievable. Seeing these villains and just what this movie was really, what it was, and then how it really took a much more serious tone than the previous ones. Definitely my favorite Spider-Man out of this trilogy of Tom Holland movies, and does fit in at number 5. You want to go to number 4?
Yeah, number 4 for me is A Quiet Place Part 2. It was definitely a sequel that I wanted to see, and while I think I said in my review that there were some aspects in the first one I liked a little more, as far as I don't know, there were some things I liked better in the first one, but this one I thought was a better movie, and I enjoyed a lot of the acting was great. There's a character that I did not really like in the first one, the girl character, and she did a complete 180 for me. Did a great job in this movie, and had me invested the whole time, because this movie is basically driven by her for the most part, outside of maybe the Emily Blunt character. But this is a really good horror film. It had me more invested in the movie, and once again, it answers some questions while also leaving a lot of stuff unanswered. And I'd love to see them keep adding on to this universe. And Quiet Place Part 2 clocks in at number 4 for me on my top 5 list of 2021.
But number 4 for me is Cop Shop. I know this is a movie you weren't able to see, but this was such a amazing movie. This is from a lot of different companies and movie companies that I've never seen before, and just had a lot of fresh taste to it. It had a really interesting plot, and it just felt like it was not a normal Hollywood movie, and it really just had some things that I just did not expect. I really did not know what was going to happen in this movie. There's a bunch of surprises, great action, and it was just unexpected. And it was a really good movie. Caught me out of left field. I did not expect this to be this good of a movie, and does fit in at number 4 on this list.
Yeah, I think we have pretty similar rest of the list.
It's all the same. That's why I said we should look at each other's.
I didn't look at yours.
We should have.
Well,
we're gonna have the same list.
Well, number 3 for me is Godzilla vs. Kong. It's a pretty solid movie. Huge kaiju fan, huge Godzilla and Kong fan, and I thought they did a great job showing them fight on screen. Obviously, I wish there was some things done differently as far as building the universe and letting the fans know that there's more to come. They did not fulfill that promise really, but they did a great job with the fight. Great CGI, no complaints there. And I mean that's what you came for. You got a pretty solid fight, couple fights between Godzilla and Kong, and that's definitely number 3 on my top 5 list of 2021.
Yep, number 3 for me is Godzilla vs. Kong as well. I just love these kaiju movies, and this movie knew what it was. It didn't try to be something else. It gave you Godzilla and Kong, more Kong, but we just got a Godzilla movie. The fights were awesome. The CGI was amazing. And it gave you what you wanted to see. Godzilla and Kong fighting. It was a little bit of a shorter movie, but you get to see Godzilla and Kong in all their glory. And it was just an amazing movie. Amazing fights, amazing CGI. And a movie we've been waiting for so long. So definitely takes the number 3 spot on this list.
And number 2 for me would have to be the Suicide Squad. This was obviously, I was a huge fan of the first Suicide Squad. I was right there with Angry Joe. Loved it. It was a great movie. And this one, I wanted to see. My big thing going into this movie was, will they honor the first one, even though it got trashed by almost everybody? And I was afraid they were going to just completely squash it, and while also ripping off characters from the first one. But no, they did a sequel, which I loved, and they brought in some great new characters. It was honestly a perfect movie, in my opinion, until the very end. And it wasn't for the very end. This could have been number 1 on my list. But some great performances by Idris Elba, John Cena. So just great acting all around. Awesome movie. And like I said, the very beginning up until the very end is practically flawless to me. It's just the end that gets a little bit messed up. It was definitely a good movie, and I liked it. Yeah, number 2 for me on my list.
Number 2 on my list is Suicide Squad. We did not look at each other's list, I swear. I made mine, he made his. I mean, we are brothers. We think a lot alike, I guess. But Suicide Squad is definitely number 2. Most of this movie is just insane. It's what I've been wanting in a movie for so long. They kind of take inspiration off the old Predator movie, which is one of the best movies ever. And it's just to see that in the form of superheroes is just a dream come true. And the fact that it's rated R just made this movie so hilarious, so awesome. But then, like you said, the ending is what kept this from being one of the best movies of all time, in my opinion, because of how well they just understood what you wanted to see. You wanted to see these teams and the action, and just so much of this movie's done so well. And so it does fit at the number 2 spot behind one other movie.
No. And I will say, I have one more thing about that. They make characters that you think are like, what the heck is this? A polka dot guy, a rat handler? And they make those characters like really relatable and awesome, and you root for them. Number 1 for me, without a doubt, is Halloween Kills. It came through in ways that I did not even expect. I mean, the very opening with him standing in front of the original house, and they go back to the first one and extend that almost. It's like an extended deleted scene. Yeah. And to capture it in the way that it looks like it was filmed in that day, that's just the very beginning, let alone the rest of the movie. Now, they did have a little annoying subplot in there with a patient that didn't make too much sense. And the very end had me worried, but they closed it up. This could have landed on the top 5 most disappointing had they followed through at the end with a thing they thought they were doing, but they did not, and they ended with an absolute just exciting ending. I was very happy leaving the theater. Halloween Kills was the best film of 2021 in my opinion.
Number 1 for me is Halloween Kills. I mean, I think about a lot of things when I rate these movies, and if I had to pick one movie to set apart from the others, I think about right after the movie ends. How did I feel? What was I thinking? And this is the movie I was the happiest after. I mean, 2018 was amazing, and then I thought, what could they do with this next one? And like you said, from the get-go, it's just unbelievable. The stuff they're able to do in this movie, how the scenes Michael has, and just the way it's a really fun slasher movie, and it's just such a good movie, and I just walked out so happy with the stuff they did. It was a great time in the theater, and it was just such a good time. Amazing movie, and just I cannot wait for the last one. The first one was so good. The next one was even better. Really can't wait this year until they complete the trilogy. But Halloween Kills was, in my opinion, the best movie of 2021. But we do have a top 5 worst movies of 2021 coming up.
Yep.
We didn't see that many movies, relatively speaking. We saw enough to make the list, so that is coming soon.
Yep. Thanks for watching our top 5 best movies of 2021. Stay tuned for the top 5 worst films. If I say worst, most is
On our list.
Worst slash most disappointing movies of 2021.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.